Everyone, it's me, Donna. Okay, in this video I'm going to talk about something that has popped up in my local news here recently. As it turns out, they are running a new gambling bill here in 2024 when they start the new session with that. But one thing that's kind of unclear is they mentioned that some of it has to do with cracking down on illegal gambling, the fines and all that. But what's funny is when they're asked if they're going to try to get us a lottery in Alabama, they're kind of dancing around that. They're like, well, we're checking into that, and it's like, then what's the purpose of this bill? I mean, don't tantalize the public with the hope of getting Alabama a lottery and making us feel like, that's what this is about, if this is just some bill to crack down on illegal gambling. Like, I could care less, honestly. I really could care less about bingo halls and some of those gaming places or whatever that they're claiming it's illegal gambling and all that at this point. That's not my concern. I want Alabama to get a lottery. Hello? To me, that's more important than cracking down on these these scattered out so-called illegal gambling, whatever. I mean, I just think it's ridiculous. Don't toy with us. Like, let us know what this bill is really about before you want us to support it and all that. It just irritates me that they're dancing around it. Now, I mean, it could really be, trying to get us a lottery, but yet, if so, then why don't they just come out and state that? Why are they dancing around that when they're asked point blank the question by reporters? I just think that's a little weird, So I'm here to tell you, congressmen out there in the state of Alabama, we want a lottery, okay? That's what we want. So if you're not, if you're going for something less than that, then why bother? Why bother trying to strum up public support? Because I guarantee you most people in this state could really care less. Because if you get us a legitimate lottery in this state, that alone will crack down on illegal gambling. Like, if you can get people a legal way to get, take a chance on purchasing something and winning money, a big jackpot, they're going to be less likely to visit these illegal gambling spots anyway. Especially if you do allow for maybe that type of gambling too. A few gaming places or whatever, as long as they buy a license and all that, and it makes them money, then there really should be no problem. So, doing those things, in my opinion, will make things better for everybody. If it becomes a win-win for both the vendors and the public who are using these vendors, that will crack down on illegal stuff. So you won't really have to worry about that. It will take care of itself. Okay? So, I just, when I saw that tonight, I just felt compelled to just, to make this video and ask that question. Is our lawmakers in this state really trying to get us an actual lottery bill? And if that's not the game plan or whatever, how about getting us a state-sponsored sweepstakes? I've mentioned this before in other videos. Find a way for that. See how that goes, and then maybe make room for an actual lottery. However they want to do it. I mean, I would be happy with either one. But I would prefer a lottery. And I would like to see a lottery that actually helps people, the average person in this state, legal resident of Alabama, be able to get money for health care. Like, get them a card, let them go to a certain website or whatever, sign up for a card, and each year that card could have a certain amount of money on it that can be used specifically for medical purposes. In other words, it has to be either used at a doctor's office, hospital, pharmacy, something like that. And everything has to be legal and above board and all that. The prescriptions, all that stuff. It can, be used for eye exams, even dental work. But the thing is, once you use it, it's gone for the year. And if you don't use it, you lose it. So whatever is left, whatever balance is on the card, if you don't use that, then it disappears off the card and gets put back into the pile. And then, you just sign up again next year and get the card refilled with a certain amount of money. Personally, they could start out maybe with $600, maybe $1,000 or whatever. Whatever the state feels comfortable starting out with, especially, if, they're just getting this lottery or sweeps or whatever up and running. Like, there has to be a time frame for everything to get put into place anyway. So maybe it can start out, and then maybe 6 months later, they can start rolling out the actual cards. And maybe it can start with a lower amount, maybe $300 or whatever for that first year, okay? And then after that, it can increase so much and then maybe cap out at a certain amount. And then as time goes by, they can determine, based on cost of living and all that stuff, they can increase it or whatever. I just think that would help a lot of Alabamians out with medical costs and all that, especially with so many hospitals being in trouble and all that sort of thing. Something like this would really help. And as someone who went online to that marketplace to test it out, since Alabama is now allowed to check into that stuff, oh my God, I was shocked at just the cheapest plan that they had available for the average person making, say like $11 or $12 an hour, how much they want you to pay to pick out an insurance plan. There is no help for poor people on this healthcare website. I know this is a gripe and going into another soapbox, but it ties into the whole lottery for Alabama, because it's pretty bad. Say like if you only make $1,200 a month and the lowest premium insurance that you can find on this website is $700 and almost $800 a month, how in the world are you going to pay that and live? Like, really? Like, I'm not understanding that. So this whole .gov website to me ain't nothing but a sham for insurance companies to take advantage of people, claiming that you're going to get a discount and a deal when you're not. You're better off just getting the crappy insurance that's available through your workplace, but a lot of times that eats up your paycheck. So a lot of people cannot afford that. So a lot of us are kind of left in the cold when it comes to insurance. And I think that there needs to be some kind of help. And why not? I feel like some of the money can go for the schools, but in roads and infrastructure and things like that. But I also think a portion of this money should go for help with health care. I mean, it'd be wonderful just to have you a card to where if you say, even if you've got $500 or $400 or whatever, and you've got to go to the doctor, like you've got to go get something checked out, maybe you've got a high fever, maybe, you know, whatever the case may be, that can get you in the door to see a doctor and pay that doctor for that visit and get you checked out and find out what's going on with you. And maybe, you know, it could be simple as just getting you some type of something to bring down your fever, or some kind of life-saving antibiotic. You know, maybe you've got a bad infection in your body and that antibiotic could be life or death for you. This would be wonderful for something like that. So, you know, I think that needs to be tied into for this state, and it could be a first. And especially since all these other states, it's mostly about the schools, so-called. The general fund is what it's really about. And you know, so much goes for the schools supposedly, and the roads and whatever. I honestly think that Alabama needs to set a precedent and let everybody else know that they care about their people's health care and want to do something about the health care facilities and the public, the health care of the state, and do something like this, and let that be separate from this so-called general fund, and make sure that the money actually, a percentage of the money goes into this health care fund, and it never touches the general fund. That portion right off the top, when they do their calculations, however often they do it, to put money into all the funds or whatever, that needs to just immediately, a percentage of it needs to immediately go into what it's supposed to be for, which is the health care fund. And then, you know, whatever with the rest. It's just important, in my opinion. And I don't think it should be compromised and put into a fund that can be tapped into, especially something like the general fund. And then, you know, 5-10 years later, they say, oh, well, we put it in the general fund, and that's why we don't have any money for, you know, for the people of this state. I mean, it needs to be safeguarded in that sense. So, yeah. I mean, that's my feelings about it. I've made other videos discussing this whole issue and everything. So I won't go into detail about any of it, but I'm just saying, I feel like that would be a good idea, you know, for Alabama if we did get us a lottery in this state. So, but anyway, we'll talk to you guys later. Bye.